Hello, everybody. This is Reggie Insurance Fellow, keeping Carolina families covered. And today I want to talk with you about policy reviews. It's important. When is the last time you looked at your policy? Do you know what's in it? Do you know what's really there? Do you really know what you have? Hmm. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this and delve into it and look at all the reasons why this is going to be a very important thing for you. How often should you review your life insurance policy? Most companies recommend that you review your policy once a year because what your needs were a year ago may not be your same needs right now. When it comes to your financial well being, you can never really put a price tag on that. So take the time to look and see if things will help your needs. This is going to be a perfect time to learn about any new coverage options, things that are going to better suit your needs in the coming future. To include what you're paying monthly, and that's very important as well. And the next thing you want to do, and another good reason for a policy review is you want to take action before a policy expires. Or if you take the time to understand that you may need more coverage than what you have, this is a good time to take care of this. Listen, there are many reasons why people have should do a review of their life insurance policies. Think about it. If you're part of a couple and you're about to get married, that's a good time to review your policy. If you are married and you are getting divorced, you need to review your policy because that's going to change the dynamic of things. If you're about to buy a house, this is probably a good time to review your policy. If you're having a baby or if you're adopting a baby, that means you're gaining a member of your family. That is going to change things for you. That's a good time to review your policy. Accepting a new job. This is very important for a lot of people because some employment comes with insurance and some does not. And if what is on your job doesn't meet your needs, you may have to consider getting additional coverage than what the job will provide. And some jobs don't. You may have insurance coverage, or it comes with insurance coverage, but you may not have it for a period of months. Especially if you start a new job or a new position, a lot of times those things may not exactly be automatic. So always look at this, and there are more reasons as to why a review is just a good thing to do. If you received a raise or promotion, for many people, that means it's an increase of income. So you've got to look at what is it that you're going to be able to afford, but more importantly, look at what you cannot afford. That's what I think that's a better one right there. If you're taking out a mortgage or another loan, of course, anything that majorly changes your financial situation, you definitely should look at how much coverage that you have to to cover all of those needs. If you're refinancing your home, that's going to change things for you. That's a good reason to review your policy. If you're paying off a mortgage, this is a definitely good reason to review your policy because if you no longer have a mortgage, this could force you to reassess. Okay, how much coverage do I actually need now this home is paid for? Because a lot of people, when they're starting out, they need to get a lot of coverage because they're on the larger end of getting that mortgage paid off. And then when a lot of life changes, where and for many families, the mortgage is paid off, the kids are out of the house, it's a different situation. So what you needed maybe 20, 30 years ago may not be the same thing as it is today. If you would you like to hear more reasons? I think we got more reasons for why this is a good thing to do a policy review. Are you buying a business? Always a good time to do a policy review because what if you're going into partnership with someone? How does that look in terms of your insurance coverage? Do you have any coverage at all? Look at this, and this will help you put in a better position. If you're selling a business, because once you sell a business to someone, that changes. Assess what those needs are, and that's going to put it in perspective for you. If you've just received an inheritance, you definitely need to do a review or look at how you're going to take care of that inheritance so that it's able to work the best for you. Having a loved one that requires care or long term care, that's another reason to review or take into account what insurance needs are going to come about. I bring about there are so many different life changes that I describe to you, and it's not limited to these. This is just to get you to understand that there's so many reasons and so many life situations that come up that require people to really think about how much coverage that they really have. Here's more. If a person becomes disabled, this is going to change their insurance needs. If a person becomes an empty nester, meaning, okay, it's just either themselves and their kids are out of the house, or it's just he or she and their partner, that's going to change their insurance needs for them. Is going to be very different from when they had children in the home or other family members in the home, as opposed to it's just them. The number one thing that assess people their needs is experiencing a death in the family. This is the number one thing, and I'll tell you why. It's going to reveal if someone had coverage, or it's going to reveal that they didn't have coverage. Sometimes, and it's unfortunate, families don't find out that their family member didn't have coverage until they decede. We urge people to have something. And a lot of people view insurance as like an expense, but it's actually but it's really something that's necessary. In fact, I can tell you this, and I can guarantee you, most families do not have $10,000 to $15,000 sitting in the bank to take care of someone's funeral expenses. And the families who do have that kind of money, I guarantee you, they're probably not going to want to spend it on that. If any of those things apply to you, this is a good reason to look at what your insurance needs are and get with a financial professional who can help you and guide you to make that best decision that you can possibly make. There's definitely more, and there's definitely more. When a person's retiring, that's gonna change someone's insurance needs, especially if someone has been at a job for a long time and they had insurance because of their job, and all of a sudden now they're retired, they're not working anymore. It forces some people, and especially when you look at those who get final expense policies. If they've been with a job for a long time and that's all the insurance they had, it forces some people into this very position. If they keep the policy that they had all those years, then now the job is no longer paying for it. They've got to do it on their own. And the premiums may be it may far exceed what they can afford. So it forces people to make a decision between whether they're going to get insurance or whether they're going to eat or get medication or rent. Tough position to be in, but you better believe it. It's a real situation for so many people. The often overlooked reason why people may not do a policy review is when someone has had a change in their health. Yes, they may or may not have health insurance, but they need to look at life insurance as well, especially if their situation, if it's one of those situations where a person is um, terminal, and no one likes to have these discussions. But when someone's health reaches that point, some arrangements have to be made, or at least some planning has to be made. Those situations, whether we like them or not, they change a person's insurance needs almost immediately. I encourage everyone here, work with a financial professional to make sure your needs are met. A lot of people, if they don't want a whole lot of coverage, but they want coverage from a professional, most people get final expense to cover their funeral, burial expenses, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of those policies are very affordable, and most people can't afford them, especially if they're on a fixed income. So that is important for a lot of people. If you've got young people who just bought a home, they've got small children, and they got a lot of debt, consider looking at getting some type of term coverage. And then when things improve, you start making more money and the mortgage is almost paid off and you got the kids around the house, or even before then, consider getting some whole life coverage for you. Or look at an index universal policy, or look at an annuity. Look at something that's going to allow you to have money at the end of the line. And yes, 401ks and 403bs, all of these are financial tools that help. Some are tax deferred, some are not. I would say this: get with someone who you trust to go over all of these things and can help you meet the best decision that you could possibly make for your needs. I'm Reggie the Insurance Fellow. I'm licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. I work in I am a I have the broker mindset. I am for what's going to help the person and what's going to help meet their needs. I feel fundamentally that's what's important, because if you help a person meet their needs, they're going to feel secure about their future. And when they're going to feel secure about their future, they're going to have a certain peace of mind knowing that there is something in place to take care of their family. And I don't care what anyone says. Most people want the pride and dignity to know that they did something to take care of their family. Most people take pride in that if they're about their family and they're about taking care of them. This ain't just about helping people to get coverage. This is about helping people live with the dignity and respect they deserve, while at the same time making sure that when and it all happens for us, when we move on, our families can still move forward and be able to move forward and succeed and give them a fighting chance. That's what this thing is really about. If you really think about it. This is Reg the Insurance Fellow. If you like what you see here, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. Tell everyone you know. This is a great time to do a policy review. Look at your important papers. Look at everything that you have. You're going into a new year. Things may change for you. I'm doing the same thing. I've had changes in my life situation, and that forced me to determine the things that I need, I don't need. We already know it's going to be a time of reflection for the holiday season anyway. Why not look at the things that matter? A lot of people are going to be around family anyway. Go ahead and have these discussions. I always tell people, have the hard discussions now, so that they don't become harder discussions later. Happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of 2024, and we will see you most likely in 2025. Take care of yourselves. This is Reggie Insurance Fellow. We're keeping families covered.